Clothing is probably the easiest, most common, I don't know if that's true, easiest thing to sell on eBay. Because it's light, it is flexible, you can fold it, you can put it into different sizes, and it's not fragile. You know, you don't need to worry about protecting it when you're shipping it. You can just toss it around and not have to worry about it. And everyone's looking for clothes. It's not something like a niche market where it might sit there forever. If you put clothing, it's probably going to sell. All right, here's a quick tip I wasn't gonna say, but I just thought of it now. Sell things in season, and that'll help them sell faster. Sell light dresses in the summer and sweaters in the winter, because people don't want to be thinking about sweaters in the summer. It's also convenient because the sizes are standard, rather than something else where you would have to measure it and put the measurements. You might have to put the measurements depending on the item, but certain things, like I could say women's pants size 8. And anyone would know what I'm talking about. You know, t-shirts are real simple. They all kind of fit the same way. Like I said, for things like dresses, you might want to measure those. But things like t-shirts, shorts, don't worry about it. People can always message you for measurements if they need it. So eBay only requires you to have one photo. My biggest pet peeve is when a listing has one blurry photo and I'm like, oh, I'll just swipe to the next one and there's no photo, or it's just 2 blurry photos. Take good photos. You know, iPhones make it so easy. You just tap on the screen and it's focused. If you have a real camera, focus it. Take a minute. If you upload it and it looks blurry, take another one. It sucks, but it will help you in the end. I would say for all items, take at least 2 photos, like a DVD or something, you know, front cover, back cover, a picture of the inside to show that the disc is really in there, you know. Things like clothing, I would say at least 3 photos. For example, I have this t-shirt that I'm going to sell. It's a Den Is Not on Fire shirt. I don't really watch Den Is Not on Fire anymore. I never wear this. And opposed to something else where I might put it in old clothes, this I feel like there are, you know, tons of Dan fans that would probably be into this. So I'm gonna sell it. So I'm gonna put the front, the back, and the tag. That's your 3 photos. At the very least, if you're selling clothing, the front, the back, the tag. If it doesn't have a tag, in general, look over your item. Make sure there's no like wear and tear, like any stains or anything. It's like sending a textbook back at the end of the year. Look over it, don't go crazy, but quick glance over it. If there's any rips or tears or loose seams or stains, take a picture of that, because if you don't mention that and it gets to someone with a rip or something like that, they are gonna get back to you and they're gonna not be happy about it. So be upfront about that. It's not gonna ruin your sale. You know, it's eBay. Like, everyone's looking for a sale. And if you get slightly less for it, you're still selling it. This one, I'm gonna take 4 photos of. So I get the back, the front, one of the tag to show the size. And this one's got like some wear on the letters right here. So I'm gonna take a picture of that too, just to show people I'm up front. People are probably still gonna want it anyway, you know, fingers crossed. For things like t-shirts, it's not a huge deal to just take a picture of it on the floor or maybe on a hanger. If you're selling something like a dress, stuff like that, people really want to see a picture of it on someone. Now, if you're selling this clothing because it's too small for you, you probably don't want to take a picture of yourself wearing it and post it on the internet. If you have a mannequin, I know a lot of people don't, but if you have a mannequin, put it on the mannequin, that's awesome. If you have someone around who can fit into it, take a picture of them wearing it. At the very least, put it on a hanger, hang it up, take a picture of it that way. That at least gives some semblance of like shoulders. Make sure they're well lit, you know, that's just a general rule. Make sure they're in focus. Make sure you have at least 3 photos, maybe 4 if there are extra details. You know, if it's a dress and there's like some beads or lace or something else on it like that, take a picture of that. People like that. Also, in general, this is just a general selling rule, but we're talking about clothes. If you have 5 t-shirts that are all the same size, sell it in lots. If you have anything, books, movies, anything, sell it in lots. Alright, bitches love lots. People like getting more for what they pay for. The exception is maybe a formal dress. Don't do it in lots, even if you have a bunch of them. Because if someone, think about it, if someone's buying a formal dress, they only want one. They only want it for one occasion. There's one occasion that they're looking for it for. Things like t-shirts or shorts, people wear those all the time. People want a lot of them. And when you sell it, you charge more for it, but people go backwards in their head. They're like, oh, that's 4 shirts for $13, but that's like $3.50 each. People like getting a lot for what they pay for. People say that on YouTube, the way to get people to watch your YouTube videos is with a good title, a good thumbnail, and good tags. eBay doesn't really have tags, so to make up for that, you're gonna wanna put as many keywords for your item as possible in the title and in the description. So for this shirt, I would say Dan is Not on Fire, YouTuber, t-shirt, black, unisex, large, American Apparel. That's probably it. That's a lot of keywords rather than just Dan is Not on Fire shirt, you know? I'm assuming that anyone who buys this shirt is probably looking for a Dan is Not on Fire shirt, but I still want it to come up if someone searches for large black American Apparel t-shirt. And it'll still come up and it'll get views, and maybe someone will stumble upon it that is into it anyway. So I was looking for a prom dress recently, and there would be some, I only searched for prom dress, but I at least searched for my size as well. And I would come up with some listings that just said prom dress. Like not a color, not a size, not a material, not a style, nothing. Just prom dress, like at the very least put the size. If you don't have a size, if you got it secondhand and the tag is cut off, for example, put something, the color. Anything. In the description, people put descriptions different ways. I usually just put the title in sentence form. A large, black, Dan is Not on Fire, unisex, American Apparel t-shirt. Slight wear on the letters, still in good wearable condition. That's probably what I'm gonna put. You don't need much, you know. If you're a store, if you're trying to be a real store, you might have different things, different ways to draw people in, like descriptive language, stuff like that. Beautiful t-shirt, a great find. Great for special occasions, wearing every day. Embellish a little bit. If you're just trying to sell stuff real quick, just put what it is, describe what's wrong with it, what's good about it. That's all you need. Now for shipping. As I said, shipping is very easy, it's not fragile, it's soft, it's flexible. I'm gonna give you a tip. This isn't like a secret, but it's very good advice. If you're selling a lot of clothing, invest in these. I'll take one out for you. It looks like this. They're plastic shipping bags. They're like 100 for $9 or something, I think I got these for. They're shipping bags. And they will save your ass on shipping because they're very, very light. If you have something like a t-shirt and you put it in a box, which it doesn't need because it's not fragile, it's gonna add like 4 ounces maybe onto your shipping, and that adds to cost. So invest in these. They're very cheap. They're very flexible, and they're good for tons of things. These are kind of small. I think these are 8.5 by 11. I sold a backpack recently, and it wouldn't fit in here. I had to put it in a box. So maybe, depending on what you're selling, what you're expecting to sell, maybe get a little bit bigger than this. You know, a smaller thing can fit in it, but a larger thing can't. When I sell this, I'm gonna put it in one of these. They self-seal. They're very flexible, and unless you put something sharp in it, they're pretty strong. The only other tip that I would say is maybe put the label on it first. Tape down the label first, and then put the item in it and seal it so that you don't get like these weird tape bubbles. I don't know if it's the same thing everywhere, but I think it is because it's USPS. The mailboxes in my town will take things that are 13 ounces or less. Clothing, in general, is 13 ounces or less, unless you're selling like a lot of jeans. A t-shirt like this is less than 13 ounces. You can just put that in the mailbox. Like I said in the last video, my post office is crap. I avoid it at all costs. If I can sell this in a mailbox, that's the best. Unless it's too big. If it's under 13 ounces, just put it in a mailbox. That's pretty much it for clothing. If you have any things that I missed, why don't you leave them in the comments below? Why the hell not? Let me know how you do. I think the next video is probably gonna be how to make a good listing, you know, photos, title, description. Someone might not want to watch this video to find out how to do that. So I'm gonna go over it in more detail, less specific. Yeah, that's it. Good luck. Clothing is... Oh, I am not gonna annoy myself with my hands today.